Timmy likes his egg salad sandwiches with the crusts cut off. Mr. and Mrs. Tanaka like bananas every morning with their tea. Lily loves leftovers. A trout for Tracy, a grapefruit for Gary. Whoops. You don't usually have to see this part. So we invented something. Here we go. Mill. Kitchen scraps go in. Get dried, shrunk, and de-stunk. The nutrients, those stay put. It's still food, not compost. Send it. Secret process, and boom, back to the farm. Chickens do their thing, lay eggs, and the kid from the beginning gets another egg salad sandwich.
Just like a couple weeks ago, I was watching YouTube videos and I kept getting ads for the Pillow Cube. And then one day I got something for the Pillow Cube Pro. And I was like, what? A Pro? All right, anyway. And I kind of had the same reaction when I saw this. So a lot of people, and I'll say some people, I don't have any actual numbers here, but a decent amount of people do composting. So yeah, you have food leftovers, whether it's scraps or just food you didn't feel like eating, whatever. And you essentially kind of do that type of stuff. I think there are varying amounts, varying degrees of composting, where I think some people just throw stuff in a bin, it rots, and then they, dump it outside into a garden or something. I think there are probably more sophisticated things, kind of like this product right here. And then you're able to, yes, use it for something in your yard, something more productive, something so that it just doesn't just sit and rot in a trash can. Now, as a person who grew up putting everything in the trash can, I could see the appeal for such a product. I could see the appeal for people who do just regular composting. But what I don't agree with, and I think it kind of defeats some of the purpose, not that I guess they're trying to be a green company, so maybe I'm looking at it from the wrong perspective, but to manufacture this device, okay, so whatever R&D goes into that, the actual manufacturing process, then to get that device from the warehouse to the customers, cool, that's, greenhouse gas emissions, things like that. Then to, yes, provide cardboard boxes and plastic bags. Seems like you're not doing the greatest thing for the environment there. Then, of course, yes, you go through the process of composting whatever while it's in the customer's house. I mean, electricity being used depending on where you are. It could be from a renewable source. It could not be, who knows? And then, of course, packaging it back up and then sending it somewhere. So yes, I agree that food is not trash. And that was one of the other little clips that was in the video. But it seems like there's a lot going on to get, let's say 1.5 pounds, maybe 2 pounds worth of food remnants sent back to some farm, someplace. Seems like a lot of work. And again, while I completely support and agree with the idea of not just throwing everything in the trash, because recently, and I kind of go all over the place here, I did say, yeah, growing up, I did put everything in the trash. For a while, I did put everything in the trash, even as an adult. And then it got to the point where I was like, I'm only taking out the trash because it now stinks. And it stinks because food is in here rotting. So what if I don't put this rotten food in the trash and I just toss it outside myself? And yeah, the moment I started doing that, the amount of times I needed to take the trash out during the week significantly dropped. Now, for the most part, I generate 1 bag of trash a week. And sometimes that's just a result of larger plastic containers, unfortunately. Yes, you go to the store, you have to buy some stuff. Some of those things come in containers that can't necessarily be broken down. nor do I want them just floating around loosely in the outdoor trash can. But yes, on average, one bag of trash a week. And yeah, when I'm done with my food, if I have leftovers or if it's something I don't want to eat, not saying I eat leftovers, but sometimes there's things I know I'm just not going to eat. Yeah, I'll just go outside and leave them for the animals. So whether it's the deer, the possums, the opossums, I think there's some armadillos out there, stray cats. I mean, I need to set up a camera to see exactly what comes through and actually eats all some raccoons, I can imagine. And yeah, like that core process, from my perspective, even though that core process is the same, even though, yes, the animals that are eating this food aren't then in turn contributing back to something that I'm going to eat. Yes, it's not going back to the chicken that's laying the egg. It's not the chicken that I'm going to eat. It's just stray animals in the neighborhood, or wildlife, what we'll also call it, stray animals and wildlife. And I think for me personally, I'm willing to make that trade off where I am not generating other waste, whether it's, like I said, the cardboard boxes that may or may not get recycled, and the plastic bags, which probably are not recyclable, and of course, the cost in terms of fuel and things like that going to and from person's house. Because as the video shows, yes, you do get your little machine, and then yes, you do send the boxes off and with the plastic bag off to wherever. But then also, yeah, I'm assuming they send you supplies, so you aren't providing your own boxes. Because if you are providing your own boxes, then this thing completely is not worth it. But yeah, it's a subscription based. I'll include a link to the website down in the description, hopefully. So I will say that I, number one, stand by everything that I've already said. My opinions are what they are. And I'm actually on Mill's website right now, and I'm looking at the cost just to get the can. So you can rent it monthly for $50, or you can rent it for an entire year and be charged what, $360 for the entire year, so $30 a month. Is that right? Yeah. Or you can just flat out buy the trash can, and look, it's on sale right now for $900 when the original price is $1,000. So that's a bit much. And then based on how this is being marketed, the trash can or the composting bin, whatever you want to call it, is only half of the equation. The other half is sending the stuff back to mill for them to do their stuff, their secrets, as their secret processes, as they put earlier in the video. But you can't opt in for that stuff until the bin actually arrives at your house. So I'm sure that's another fee that they aren't disclosing to you right now on the screen. In addition to that, there are the mill essentials, which it says everything you need to mill, charcoal filters, plus an extended warranty that includes parts and maintenance. The value, I guess, is $120 a year, but you apparently get it for free for the first year. So a lot going in. Again, I am not a composter. I just take the food and throw it outside for in a place for the animals. And I just think that that's the best way to go. Now, again, if you're a composter and this is something that you're interested in, by all means. But I would also then say, if you are composting, this device doesn't seem to really separate itself from anything else that's on the market. Having done no research, as the commercial was alluding, this is a full package process. You compost it and you send it somewhere. But if you're not sending it anywhere, what's the point of why would you buy this particular product over something else? So just adding a little more information as I perused the website a little further. But yeah, I can only imagine that it will be in your best interest to just take your leftovers and toss them outside. I mean, I know there are some people, some places where that's not the most conducive thing to do. I mean, even if you're in a fancy neighborhood, you know, yeah, you probably don't want to just toss stuff out in your front yard. Yeah, and you shouldn't. But maybe go in your backyard and have a designated spot, especially if you have a fence. Yeah, that's no brainer if you have a fence. But even if you don't have a fence, you can still find a designated place to just say, all right, I'm going to scrape this off for the night. It will rot. It probably won't stink. And then, yeah, some animals may come and get it. I mean, I've a couple weeks ago, I tossed out like almost a whole family size Stouffer lasagna. because it had been in the freezer for a while, and I ate a little bit. And I said, this is not good. So yeah, just tossed it out, and the next day it was gone. So the animals will come. It is free to do if you're in an apartment or condo and you don't have access to a yard. Then yeah, I get it. But in my opinion, yeah, the people who would even consider buying this, yeah, they're either the really fancy rich people who are in places where, yeah, they're in like a condo or something, or, multi-million-dollar something, and don't have access to a yard, or and maybe not that expensive, or yeah, some other uppity folks that yeah have money and not uppity, or some other people who yeah might be in a neighborhood that they might think it's not a good idea to just toss food outside. Which again, if it's in a designated area, let's say in your backyard, it won't be a problem. Now, yeah, I know if you have pets, then you got to worry about that. And all this to say, though, no matter what excuses, with the exception of just physically not having access to grass, which I get, there are plenty of people in apartments or things like that. But again, the people who will probably buy this most likely have some type of access to grass. All that to say that no matter what excuse you give me, I would almost guarantee you that it's still an easier, more environmentally friendly thing to do than actually sending it back. Yeah, just toss it outside. So I am completely not against the idea of composting, but the idea of this. Take your trash and send it back. Okay, whatever. Now, I'm sure periodically check the website to see if this thing is actually up and running. Heck, I've gone to the website, but I haven't even seen how much it costs. Because again, if it's more than free, which is what it costs for me to toss stuff out into the backyard, then I have no interest in it. And it's not happening here because I'm honestly not paying as much attention. But at my last residence, it was kind of nice to see the little stray cats come up. Like you put some stuff out in the yard, and there's about maybe 4 or 5 usuals. I'd say definitely 3 usuals and a couple other ones that come around from time to time. And my roommate had a dog, so I would put it in appropriate places so that he could not access it. And yeah, it worked. And yeah, as I said, taking the trash out at most once a week as a result of me no longer putting gobs of trash in there. Same thing here where I am now. And the one thing, and hopefully this will be the last thing that I say, because I'm happy that the video even brought it up, is that even though people might think like, oh yeah, I'm scraping my plate, into the like that's most of what people think when it comes to food. But as the video pointed out, even things like orange peels and definitely banana peels. Oh my gosh, banana peels will stink in about a day and a half after you peel them. So yeah, I don't put any food in the trash. Even yeah, I do my best to rinse out containers that had food in them that are disposable, and then the actual food itself. Bones go outside. Yeah, chicken skins if I'm not eating the skin. So yeah, just everything, anything that I would even consume or will start degrading in the trash can, boom, goes outside, and it doesn't cost me anything to do it, and I'm not being overrun by varmin. So definitely, as I said, any excuse you could give me as to why you shouldn't be tossing stuff outside, and I'm like, well, whatever. It's still easier to do that, and it's still serving a similar purpose. Feeding animals. Maybe not the animals that are actually producing food and giving back to you, but at the same time, I am now not contributing to the boxes and plastic that are going to and fro between my residence, factories, farms, and wherever else.